Is the red light? Does that mean we gotta wrap it
Yeah,
up?
we're on. We're just waiting for
I mean,
we're waiting
we're
for
on.
the theme song to play.
Okay.
And then once that plays,
prepped and ready to go.
then the show actually starts. Until then,
That's
this is all
exciting.
just bonus material.
Wow.
Freebie.
Yeah.
Free listening.
Yeah, yeah. We can
You
talk
will
about
be
whatever we want
charged
right
as
now.
soon as the
Well-
intro comes in.
Yep.
I was just at the grocery store buying some raisins
Raisins,
and a little pumpkin.
white or red raisins.
I did not get the golden this time. I do
Traditional?
prefer the golden. I got the traditional.
Traditional,
Yeah.
boring raisins.
Yes.
And a pumpkin.
And a pumpkin.
That's nice.
Yeah. Just for decorative
Yeah,
purposes.
you're gonna have the pumpkin in your condo.
Yes. Yes.
So it's
I
an
already put it in there.
internal
Yes.
pumpkin.
It
as
is an
opposed
internal
to a-
pumpkin.
Okay.
Yeah. Gotta be careful. You don't want any bugs.
Oh, right. Okay. I was like, what do people do to your pumpkins?
Would you like to
those
know,
outdoor
Kristin?
pumpkins?
Through the years, my pumpkin's been through quite a bit.
You
Thank you
gotta
so
be pretty
much.
famous for people to mess with your pumpkins. No one's ever done anything to mine.
There's an old lady that goes around my neighborhood stealing people's pumpkins and picking their flowers out of their flower
This sounds like a
beds.
ghost story.
Yeah.
There's an old lady.
And when I followed her, she
Funny
disappeared
songs
into
and the
this
stories
cemetery.
behind them.
Wow.
Are we off the air again?
We're on.
The lights
Nice.
are-
On. Okay. Hey, everybody.
Did the
Dun,
theme
dun,
song
dun,
play and we missed it?
dun.
Wow.
Yes, it's playing. You just can't hear it through the monitors. So
I
sorry.
see.
Little technical difficulty today. Very strange.
Songs in the
It's
key
Halloween
of
ghosts.
funny.
Wonderful. Well, welcome to Songs in the Key of Funny. I'm your host, Kristin Key, and with me, as most always, is Shaun Fisher.
Hello.
He's the Gabrielle to my Xena, the Willow to my Buffy. I mean, he's the Uncle Joey of this show
Oh.
because he does weird things with his mouth. Yeah. And our wonderful
gonna
guests
say
this
thank
week,
you.
we have Kate Flannery and Scot Robinson, the Lampshades, are joining us. Very excited to have them here. And we are recording this podcast live. Can you say recording live? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we're
That's what
recording
we're
it. We're
doing right
live from Flappers Comedy Club in beautiful Burbank, California, where game shows go to have babies. So as every week, we like to honor the musical comedians working today, but we also like to tip our hats to musical comedians of the past with a classic song of the week. And the song this week, I wanted to have a Halloween theme, so I picked a song called Halloween Spooks by Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross. And it's a spooky little song with a lot of noises. So we're going to play our little version so we don't infringe on any copyright issues. That's right, and it goes a little something like this. Halloween, 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 Halloween. Halloween, 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 Halloween. Halloween spooks outside my window. Halloween spooks behind the tree. I wish the children could see, but I can't find it for the life of me. And there's Halloween spooks outside my window pane.
Oh.
Halloween, 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 Halloween. And that would be this week's Classic Song of the Week. Classic Song of the Week. I have a capo on. Classic Song of the Week. All right.
Boom, boom, boom.
So let's say thank you, Kate Flannery.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Look at the hand of Lambert Henderson.
Classic Song of the Week.
No capo.
Classic Song of the Week.
Way better.
Classic Song of the Week.
How it's supposed to sound.
There we go. Had to get that in. Now, welcome Kate Flannery and Scot Robinson.
Hey.
The Lampshades. It's so good to have you on the show. And let's kick it off with one of the Lampshades classics. Take us to outer space.
Okay. Just hit play. This is completely recorded, and we're gonna voice dub. No, we're not. We're actually. I can't read this.
Yeah, I actually want to dedicate this song to George Clooney,
Ooh.
Sandra Bullock.
Spooky.
You do the math.
Spooky.
She packed my bags last night, pre-flight.
Flight.
0 hour 9 a.m. And I'm gonna wanna be high as a kite. By then, by then, by then, by then, by then, I miss the earth so much. You miss your wife.
Yeah, right. Sorry, honey.
It's lonely out in space. I'll touch your time. Let's fly.
Let's fly.
Let's fly.
Let's fly.
Let's fly. Let's fly. Let's fly.
This is ground control to Major Tom. You've really made the grade. And the papers want to know whose shirt you wear. Looks like that music. And it's time to leave the capsule if you dare. And I'm floating in a most peculiar way. It's not the booze. And its stars are very different today.
Mars ain't end.
9.
8.
I think it's 7.
6.
5.
4.
3.
2. 1. Dance! If you did.
You did.
If you did.
Sure did.
If you
It's not my
did. If you
responsibility.
did. Earth below us, drifting forward, floating weightless, coming home. Here am I sitting in a tin can.
Far above the moon.
Planet Earth is blue, and there's nothing we can do. Thank you so much.
Oh my God.
Thank you so much.
Kate Flannery and Scott Robinson.
so good.
The Lampshades are here.
Spacey.
Thank you guys.
We have
for...
one other song. Should we do it now or should we do it later?
Let's save it for the end.
Okay,
let's
we'll
make
save
them.
it for
Let's
the
make
end.
them listen to
Okay.
the whole episode. I don't want to. If we give it all up right now,
You're
then-
right.
Yep.
No,
yep.
that's not true. You have a following. People actually listen
We
to
do.
you.
Did you know that, Shaun?
This is new news to
We
me.
checked the numbers this week.
Hey.
We have a smattering of
Hey.
fans.
All right.
We have some loyal listeners.
That's
that have
better
been
than a
listening.
smidge.
It is. It's smattering is I think double a smidge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
And then-
collection of smidges at the very least. One smatter?
Baking and audiences, a smidge is much smaller than a
That's
smatter.
right.
That's right.
We have a dorchestra of fans.
Ah,
That's right.
Dorchestra.
That's right.
nerd string.
And now we're gonna have so many more because we have legit. This is what we call a legitimate guest.
Great.
And Kate wore a smart top, so this is gonna be a really good show.
Because you never know when when people can see you on a podcast.
Well, we do. We live stream it, so we never know what to wear. And Shaun always goes for just out of the trunk of his car.
Yeah.
And I'm always told to be more colorful because as a gay woman, I only know how to wear gray. And sometimes I'm like, I'm wearing blue. It's very colorful.
Yeah, I saw a person wearing this on the way over here, and I just
Were
hit him.
they in a trunk?
Did you
Hit
give
him
him
with a
50
car.
cents? Sorry. Hey, buy
Like
some-
I would be that stupid to pay that much.
So what? Okay, so you're on the show. I'm a big fan.
Facts.
I know. I'm so excited to have you here. There's so many
Stick to
things I
the
want to
facts.
ask you. I just don't know where to begin. Let's just start with how did this begin? How did this start? This lounge music comedy act. Would you describe it that way as well?
Yes, I would actually describe it as a dying lounge act, but that's just dying lounge act.
By design. By
Yeah,
design.
yes,
design,
we're
yeah.
we're aware of the dying quality to
love it
lounge
so
and
much.
lounge music. Actually, Scott and I used to work in Chicago together in a theater company called the Annoyance Theater. We knew each other from Second City too, but at the Annoyance, we were kind of there was this great club called the Green Mill that Al Capone used to hang out. It's still there. It's a jazz
He
club.
used to own it.
Yeah, yeah,
Really?
oh, yeah,
The jazz
yeah.
club.
Big comedy fan. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
hilarious that
Known
guy.
for it.
Right, good. You got a joke and then bunch of bullets.
Comedy and taxes. That was his thing. I loved him. Yeah. We fixed some technical difficulties.
That's the smattering. That's the smattering.
That's it. Yeah, they woke up.
I
Yeah.
thought someone just got married and then someone tied some
Hoppa!
cans to the back of their car. Anyway, so we were actually in at the Green Mill, and there was like I remember there was some duo that they didn't. English was not their first language, and they did some lounge versions of things. The reason why I say I know English was not their first language because their act was called Systems Tandem, which I'm sure in a dictionary made sense. I was like, two people together. Does not translate to, so we sort of became a little systems tandem ourselves. And we I don't know, there were so many shows at the Annoyance that we were involved in, and they literally would have like 5 shows a night, 5 completely different shows starting at 8 o'clock. Most of the shows were an hour.
My God.
Yeah, it was fun. It was really fun. And it was the shows were written out of improv or just completely improvised. And so we actually used to do our act 20 minutes before the 8 o'clock slot. So as people were coming into the theater, they didn't know what they were seeing. And it was Jimmy Carrane's show. I'm 27. I still live at home and I sell office supplies. And I just remember, and Dave Adler was our live accompanist at the time. He's amazing, and just an amazing musician. And people had no idea what they were seeing.
That's kind of added to it helped us realize it's a dying lounge act, because when we first started, like everyone would just like start wandering in, like, and not even know what they were
It's the
looking
best
at.
way to see a lounge act.
Exactly, it was
Yeah.
sort of like off the strip at 4 a.m.
Yeah,
Definitely
yeah.
had that vibe.
Right.
And we definitely can play those houses, and it definitely has a gravitas that we still know how to play that energy, and it's all fantastic. And when it's fact, it's fantastic, and when it's not. So, yeah, so that's kind of how we earned our stripes.
Yeah, we were doing the Real Life Brady Bunch
Right.
back then.
The Miss
and
Vagina
Miss
pageant.
Vagina. Well, you were
Yeah,
doing the Miss
yes,
Vagina
yes,
pageant.
yes.
I was not
Manson,
invited to do
Manson
that
the
show.
Musical. We did Manson the Musical, bunch of
Manson
shows.
the
Co-ed
Musical.
Kristen
Tell us
Lutz.
more about Miss Vagina Pageant, just out of
that was
curiosity.
Jill
I don't know.
Soloway, who created Transparent. This was her,
Okay.
she and her sister came up with this idea to sort of do a mock beauty pageant. And oddly enough, Lauren Michaels came to it, and it felt like a pageant because 4 of us got considered for SNL out of it, and 2 made it.
Wow.
So and one was not me. I was considered, but I did not.
What's an honor just to be considered?
Is it? Okay, I guess it is. But it's just weird. It was weird because we were sort of up against our friends, so it was kind of like the worst, horrible, because you had no space
Who
for
did you get
yourself.
passed over by?
Melanie Hutzel, who was on for 3 seasons, and
Yeah.
she was so funny. But it was just weird because it's like you had to be happy for your friend, otherwise you're really a
Right.
bitch. So or whatever. So there was like not a lot of room to deal with your disappointment at the time. Lots of therapy since.
It
I
was
mean,
a- it
it
was
is
a-
an honor to be considered for SNL.
It was
sure.
an incredible bunch of like insanely talented women doing like the Miss Vagina pageant, but also at the Annoyance too. They're just like, it was loaded. Like Betty Cahill,
Beth
who
Cahill,
was on SNL.
she was on SNL.
Susan Messing, who's like the
She's-
Madonna of comedy and
of
Chicago.
improv. She's like the female improv a teacher. Like she teaches at University of Chicago, Northwestern, all over the country.
And
She's amazing.
Jill and
Yeah.
Faith Soloway
Of
started
course.
and Becky Thayer from Mr. Show and a lot of other
From the
things.
Roller
They were
Brady
all
Bunch,
like
yeah.
doing
Jill-
shows
yeah,
together
this is all
at the
started.
same time.
Yeah.
How has your material changed from then to now?
Oh, you mean the Lampshades?
Yeah.
Oh, it's evolved tremendously because
Where did it begin?
well, before it was mostly just about the music, and then we figured out how to. We were we didn't live in the same town for a while, and then I was in New York doing this character by myself, and I was trying to figure out like what's funny about. What is not said, kind of like what's implied, and because some people in show business have a way of saying something, but they tell you, they reveal more than they realize if they're unconscious about what they're doing.
Right.
So when we decided to do the show in LA, I feel like we really focused on what was funny about these 2 characters coming together. My character has annoyingly too much energy, and his character has annoyingly none at all. So, and so it's like there's that contrast of someone who's but also there's an unrequited love thing that comes up during the show, and it's very layered, it's deep.
It's an onion of a show. It is an
It
onion
is,
of
and
a show.
sometimes it stinks, but that's okay. Right?
That's true.
That's right. Sometimes it'll make you cry.
The amount of drunkenness, Scott, that your character goes into during the show, I enjoy so much.
The master, you and the
Thank
master.
you.
Does that come from any place of reality? Have you ever performed in that state before?
Oddly enough, not oddly enough. Yes. When we started this in Chicago for a couple of years back in the early '90s, I used to drink real scotch.
And the show was a lot longer.
The show was a lot longer, a lot more fun. I
And
might
there was
add.
no listening
For you, yeah.
whatsoever.
For me.
No listening whatsoever.
No listening whatsoever. But it was incredible playing with companies like David Adler because he could make anything work. So we would kind of come up with like 3 or 4 new songs every week and try them out the next show.
In front of an audience that didn't know they were coming to see us.
And we kind of knew stuff and didn't know stuff at that point. And so we would improvise a lot. And so me drinking real liquor kind of added to the...
And subtracted.
From the discovery process.
Right.
Let me put it that way.
Right. So kids, if you really want to do comedy, get wasted.
Early
Then get
and
sober.
often.
Right. And then get sober. No, but it is an interesting. It was an interesting
It's
process.
an
for
adventure
sure.
going the whole gamut of wasted to sober as a performer.
Yeah.
Learn a lot.
But I will tell you, from the minute we started, we did the show every week for 5 years straight at IO West in LA. And then from that point on, once a month. So we've been doing it for a long time, but I will tell you, like, we also have accepted the weirdest gigs as part of the narrative. So many stories that we tell on stage actually happened because we are not a couple. We're still not a couple. That's real. And also, like, we literally played for 600 gay sober men at an event in Palm Springs called Hot and Dry, and we were opening for Debbie Gibson, and we didn't know till we got there we were opening for. And then we actually played NASA
That
Safety
sounds
Day.
like one of the best shows I can
Right,
imagine
right.
being
It actually
at.
was.
It
Actually,
really
and
Yeah,
actually-
a
and actually
sober
was.
gay Debbie Gibson concert.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then we played NASA Safety Day for 900 scientists we had to play like for hours. We had to do like their 15-minute breaks, and we had some fans from NASA.
Well, put it in context. It was a safety day that lasted like 6 hours.
Yes, so we kept having
so
to-
they would have these safety presentations in this giant hangar
It
with
was like a USO show.
with like
no
a
soldiers.
aircraft right next to the
Right.
stage parked there.
So how well do you know NASA safety
well,
now?
well, we know it pretty well, and they actually let us do the flight simulator afterwards, which is part of the.
Wow, the audience
Those
really likes
applause, or
that.
did it
Tell
just
us more
start
about
raining?
Space Camp, guys.
simulators.
Well, we have there's this guy Jim Ross, who was my boyfriend's former assistant at NBC, became the he's like the main photographer at NASA in Lancaster, Palmdale, in their Edwards Air
When you
Force
see a
Base.
picture of the space shuttle taking off and landing, he probably
Those
took
are
that
fake.
picture.
Those are all-
He took the picture.
No, he was seriously.
Wow.
And so he used
And
to
the
bring
fake
some of
moon
his,
shit?
Yeah.
The fake moon landing, he took those too.
he used to bring some of the other people that were involved in his in the photo department, but also the flyers. Anyway, so they became big Lampshades fans,
To
and
answer
so
your
some
question,
people were in on it and some people weren't. Yeah.
we have plaques.
We
in
do.
our
We got
houses
plaques
with our
from
name?
NASA.
From NASA
for
that
their
say Safety Day. I
Just
know,
to
it
give
really
you
should. I
our little
gotta
brag.
post
Do
that
we know
soon. It's
Safety
been a while
Day?
since it's on my wall.
And for those of you that aren't familiar with the Lampshades, and that I know you're wearing a smart top right now, and for just the ones listening and not watching the live stream, usually you perform in a red. What would you call it?
I call it a jumpsuit.
Okay,
Polyester
she calls it a
jumpsuit.
jumpsuit. I call it
very
a
forgiving.
smart unitard.
Smart unitard.
It's
Okay.
a very smart unitard.
All right. That
And he
sounds
wor-
very.
You call it
Cirque du Soleil.
elegant?
An elegantly smart unit. It's unitarded, and and so the idea that you got plaques from NASA and
We got away with murder.
that makes me
Like
really
holding
happy.
it, like
Yeah.
receiving it while dressed as.
And large hair. You have large hair.
I do have large hair in the show.
In the show.
And Scott
Yeah.
has the biggest cummerbund you've ever seen in your
It's a
entire
very
life.
large gold cummerbund. Do you
Yes.
have multiple colors of
Oh,
cummerbund?
gosh,
You do, yeah.
Several.
How has
Yeah.
the costume of this evolved over the years, or has it stayed somewhat?
No, it's actually gotten worse
Uniform.
and weirder. It's gotten weirder. We played Tiki Oasis sometimes in San Diego, like every other year in August, which is this crazy tiki party. Again, it's part of the narrative. It feels like, of course, the Lampshades would play Tiki Oasis. Like,
Of course.
there's no difference between. We've become the thing we're making fun of.
Yes.
Thank God we created older characters. Otherwise, we'd be screwed. Poor Pee Wee Herman has to CGI his face, but we don't. Not us. But I'll tell you,
Is
so
that
we actually
true?
have. I have an all leopard jumpsuit, and he has a leopard somewhat matching cummerbund in the same leopard material. So but there's we have our calico look. We have there's, we have some weird.
You
I don't
treat
know,
your
just-
own selves like dolls. We have this look, and sometimes we dress them up like
We
this, but
sort
they're
of, yes,
yourselves.
it's sort of, it is, but it's a labor of love and ridiculousness.
It is so much fun at Flappers when you guys play here and you see young comics who are on the show before or after you. That's like, oh my God, that's Kate Flannery. She's changed. Who is she? What is she wearing? She has a camel toe.
I just want to apologize to my Office fans because I'm sure they're appalled and I don't know what they
Don't
expect.
ever apologize to
okay.
them.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, I'm sorry for the camel toe, everybody. Sorry.
I love,
Never apologize for
she
a
has
camel toe.
She has so many Office fans that come to see the Lampshades, and I get such a kick, and probably you do too. I hope you do. They have no freaking idea what they're walking
What
in
they're
to
getting
see,
into.
because that's the reaction when they see her. It's like, that's not Kate from the Office.
I
Well,
thought
like
you
they
were
ex-
that person.
Yeah, they expect you to put a desk on stage and for you to just say Meredith things.
Right, they want me to turtleneck and.
Do you respond to Meredith
Barrette.
if someone shouts it at you when you're walking down the street?
It's sometimes if I'm stuck on a train or something and the train is stopped in the tunnel, maybe not because then I can't get out. But yeah, so I have my moments. I sometimes put people out of their misery and they're like, "How do I know you? Did we go to grade school together?" And I'm like, depends where, what situation we're in. But
What about you, Scott? Do you respond to Meredith? People shout it to you walking down the street?
I'm the purse holder, so I do respond to Meredith or Kate, and then I hold their coats and purses while they take pictures. That's basically my role.
So
Oh, that's.
sorry.
I think
So
that's the
sorry.
fun part of your show.
Which
too,
we're
is-
not a couple, so my boyfriend's usually the one taking the picture. So Scott won't. Yes, just to be clear.
How many times a day do you say we're not a couple?
Just when
not
we're
in
in
a
the
show.
Lampshades.
No,
It's
because
not
you
just
said it to
me.
me when
It's
you
not
called
just
when
me.
I was
say
in
it
the
a
car.
lot. I say it a lot.
Yeah,
I say it a lot.
it's
I
a
said
lot.
2 parking spaces because we're
Yeah.
not a couple.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta be clear with that because people are like, "Oh, well, you guys will come together." I'm like, "No, we don't even live near each other."
But I thought it was like, is she in character already?
I sort of was.
Yeah.
I was making it. It was an inside joke. It's an inside joke. I think once again, when there's a character who's overstating something, clearly they mean something
Yeah.
else. So that's so the fact
I think
that
there's something under there.
Exactly.
We need
But
to look
we-
under that smart top, and I think there's some love,
Just
Scott.
say, what's under Kate?
whoa, a red bra. Clearly, it's very clear. If you come see the Lampshades, you'll see more than you bargained for, more than you ever expected, and hopefully you've already eaten before you come. Anyway, I mean, you can eat here. I'm just saying, but whatever. But the other thing is that we have had the joy and pleasure of clear channel radio because so many most of our arrangements are from 70s and 80s songs. We're kind of stuck in that. We have gone out of that a little bit, but like those are the ones that we mainly stick with because even kids today stuck on in an elevator know these,
Yeah.
they know those songs, which is crazy.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's see that music from that era has been outselling music of today for years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, because it's better.
That's nostalgic too. Like it's the kind of stuff my parents would listen to when you're in the car with them, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
right.
So it's like even if you don't listen to it, it comes on. You're like, oh yeah, I know most of this
Yeah,
song.
isn't that crazy? And then we actually do one song in Hebrew that is it's a Hebrew version of a Brazil '66 song, and we know people that have been to like Hebrew camp, and they're like, "Oh my God, we learned this in camp." It's Yashli, and they freak out, and that's happened so many times. It's like such a weird. So we do have a weird zeitgeist music-wise. I'm sure I'm sure people want us to sing all the single ladies and all that stuff. But I mean, we've opened for like the Dan Band and Richard Cheese.
I
And they
don't.
tend to do more, up to date, whatever. I don't know.
I
just
like
saying.
your
trapped in
your
an act.
medleys. Your medleys are
Yes. Our mashups, our
They're
medleys.
fantastic.
Well,
Yeah.
thanks. I wasn't fishing, but I was justified. I was
Mandy
justified.
Brandy. Oh
Mandy and Brandy
man,
at the same time. Yeah.
it's brilliant.
That was
Yeah.
a result of our keyboardist when we were rehearsing or trying to find new music. He would start playing a melody, and Kate would be like, "Oh, that's Mandy," and I'm like, "No, that's Brandy."
No, wait, no, we were
Can
doing
you do
Mandy
a little
first.
of
We
it?
did Mandy for a long time by itself.
What was that, Barb?
We were trying to
Can
find
you
the other
do
one.
just a little bit of it? Give us a little sampling.
Little Mandy Brandy.
Amanda Brandy, can you find that? There were a lot of times where we would both be hearing different songs in the same melody though, and we'd be like, "Oh, hey, maybe they'll go together."
Wow.
That's kind of how we
Right,
came
that's true.
about the mashups.
This is a Barry Manilow song, everybody.
No, it's a Looking Glass song.
Beautiful. I remember all my life, raining down these cul-de-sacs, shadows of a man face through a window, crying in the night. The night goes in to morning just another day. And people pass my way, looking in the eyes, you see a memory. Never realize how happy it made me on Monday. Well, you get without taking, but I told you to leave on Monday. You kissed me and stopped me for sure, and I need you today.
western bay that serves 100 chips a day. Lonely sailors pass the time away and talk about their homes. And there's a girl in this harbor town, and she works laying whiskey down. They say, Brandy, fetch another round. She serves them whiskey and wine. Says,
Oh,
Brandy,
you gab and you gab without taking, but I told you to leave on Monday.
my love will
You kiss me and stop the shit, and I need you today on Monday. Oh, Monday. You get the idea.
My day's just been made.
And actually, Mandy originally was called Brandy, and Barry Manilow had to change it because the Looking Glass song was out right before his
so many
release.
levels.
They
So
literally
many
had to,
levels.
yes. And I used to wait on Barry Manilow's lyricist, Marty Panzer, who did not write Mandy, but he wrote Even Now and It's a Miracle. So I used to talk to him about it, and I actually invited him to the show hoping he would bring Barry, but
Where did you wait on him?
at Kate Manalini Restaurant in Beverly Hills. Wow. Crazy.
Small world.
It is. And Barry came to the restaurant one time, and I did have a CD in my pocket that I wanted to give to him, and then I felt too stalkery. I followed him out to the garage. I'm like, this is crazy. This is.
And
this
you
is
felt
not
too
the-
stalkery when you were in
Yes,
the garage?
when I was in the garage, I was like, this is not, because I always had, Lampshades flyers in my pocket. But I kept my restaurant job through the first season of The Office, so it wasn't unusual for people from show business
That
to see me
speaks
there.
a lot to her work ethic, or Philadelphia work ethic.
Wow.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
She just really likes food. Yeah.
Well, like I was getting in the
Or
back
smart
seat.
tops. Well, they
She
gave
really
out
likes
smart
these guys.
tops as a uniform.
Actually, we had the worst uniforms ever. These horrible white. Oh my God, everybody looked like 15 pounds heavier.
I was going to ask you who you would fangirl, because I'm sure people have fangirled you as, just a character from a great TV show. But
I used to love
Barry
the character
Manilow?
actor. The character actors were my all-time favorite of the show because I used to wait on Howard Morris, who played Ernest T. Bass on the Andy Griffith Show. He actually came to our Lampshades audition for the Aspen Comedy Festival, sat in the front row, put his feet up on the stage. It was adorable. He saw us a few times. But
Did you ever embarrass yourself in front of anybody?
Oh, constantly. Well, this is the thing. It's like you're damned if you invited them and damned if you didn't. It was like I would torture myself. Like, do I? I remember one time Linda Hunt. I used to wait on her all the time, and she's like, "How are you today?" And she never used to ask me how I was. And I said, "I'm great." I said, "My comedy act just got into the comedy festival in Aspen," and she's like, in her most Linda Hunt voice, "Good for you." And then she never asked me about myself after that. She did not want to know.
It's like
That
the
was,
answer that she wasn't.
yeah, she was
didn't wanna
not.
hear.
She did not want to know my life story. She was just being polite, clearly.
That's why she was so angry. She's like, oh, this conversation's continuing.
Yes, she's small but mighty. Yes.
And they ask, "How are you?"
Good for you.
Oh.
What about you, Scott? Anybody? Have you ever met anybody famous and made a?
Ask of myself.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm usually I don't bother talking to anyone. I just don't. I'm like, I don't know. I have nothing to say. Really, it's like I love your work, or it's like, hey, you. I know none of that. No, but we did. What's nice about doing the Lampshades though is no matter what a train wreck the situation is. It fits our characters.
Right.
Like when we were
There
doing
are no
that
accidents.
Hollywood Hills one in front of Tom Jones and
Oh yes,
Those
and
guys.
Priscilla Presley.
Priscilla
Oh my
Presley in
God,
front of
the
the big
sound
Shark
got
tank.
screwed up. That was like performing in front of a firing squad.
It
There were so
was-
many painkillers in that audience.
Oh God,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
It was nuts. We were doing this. We were doing this show that was put together by people unnamed in
We'll
this
never
producer's
remember.
Hollywood Hills house, which was, by the way, right above where
It's on the same property
Same
of
property
the,
as the
Manson murders.
Manson murders.
Yeah, yeah,
Whoa.
yeah.
Which
Yeah.
was
They changed the
crazy.
number, but it's still the vibe.
Anyway,
the vibe
nice
was
house.
clearly
Romantic.
nice place anyway.
Nice place if you're not paying attention.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. If you're unconscious.
But
yes.
there was
Beautiful.
they set up the stage in front of this big, like 10-foot long
Shark
aquarium
tank, yeah.
with live sharks swimming in it. So that's not
Is that
distracting.
the metaphor for Hollywood or
right?
what?
Not distracting.
Yeah, go hit it. And I'd love to say that this was 15 years ago, but this was a year and a
Yeah,
half
right.
ago.
And so there's all these people in the like Tom Jones is in like 6
Right
feet.
there.
Tasteful
Yes.
tank
Yes.
with live sharks.
Not
That's
distracting
right.
at all.
Oh
But
my
Tom Jones and
God.
Priscilla Presley were like 8 feet in front of us,
Oh,
and,
wow.
and a
I
handful
sort of
of
felt
other
like, have we
people.
been in a car
Feet up on the
accident and this
stage.
is some form of like purgatory?
And-
Like, what's
and-
happening?
And the sound wouldn't work. Like our music
our
wouldn't
music,
play.
yeah.
And we kept vamping and killing time and stalling for like our entire set, and then it was over.
No, then we
Well,
finally sang
we
the beginning
finally
of
kinda did
Mandy, and then just at that point that we just
Oh,
sang
yeah.
for you, the audience started to applaud, and then they took the sound
took
out, and
the
they
sound
couldn't
out.
figure it out again.
And that was
so
it.
So I was like, wah, wah. So we left the ground.
There you go.
Anyway, so that's all Tom Jones gets done. Oh well,
And then
it's not unusual.
But then everybody thinks that that's what we did intentionally, like that was the act.
Because it goes with your act so
Yeah,
well.
so we're
I
like,
don't know
oh,
if everybody
okay.
thought that
I
night.
don't
That
know.
night was a train
But
wreck.
sometimes
Usually
they do.
Usually
A lot of people are
sometimes
just
yes.
watching the sharks swim.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes, you're like, oh, how did we get trapped in this horrible situation? But yeah, there have been some, and actually, we performed for the ribbon cutting ceremony at the extension of the LA subway. And there were like 1,000 chairs set up, and maybe 50 people showed up.
Yeah.
Feels good.
It was awesome. It was like, and everyone was enjoying the show, but for wrong reasons. They were just they had bus passes around their neck. They didn't really think that we were trying to be funny or ironic. They just liked singing the songs. It was
They're great
fantastic.
songs.
They
I
are.
mean,
No, and I believe me, I'm
underneath
glad
the
that
comedy,
that
yeah.
So,
yes.
so we do not get embarrassed easily, to answer your
No,
question.
yeah, we are, yes.
Doesn't
Yeah,
happen
although I
easily.
can't look Tom Jones in the eye again. No, I'm just kidding.
I fangirled Michelle Trachtenberg once.
You did?
Yeah.
How did it go?
Real bad. We were at a mutual friend's wedding, and I was a big Buffy the Vampire Slayer
Yeah.
fan. I used to drink a lot. I don't drink anymore, but I used to drink a lot. And so I drank all the vodka at the wedding reception and then switched to gin because I ran out of vodka.
Oh.
Because I was trying to work up the courage to just say I really liked you in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but that's not what came out. Finally, I was just like, Mrs. Trachtenberg, I read in an interview once that you auditioned for the part, and so then it went through that, and she was so kindly dismissive when she said, "Thank you," and so it was awful.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It was my fault. Yeah. Yeah, I had that coming, but
Well, you win some, you dim some. Right?
those are good moments.
Those
good-
are. It's
Yeah.
a learning moment.
I would do it again.
Given the opportunity.
I would
made
do
her
it again.
night. I guess
Yeah.
that's the thing. Sometimes people ignore stars and then
I
they're
think
like,
she wanted vodka, and I think I.
"Oh, and you finished it?"
I think I was like, so
Oh.
probably there was more to this than I,
To her dismissal.
Yeah.
It's a nice thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she just hated you for what you did, not for what you said.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
bad.
That's better.
It was back when I was still trying to wear dresses too, so there was so much wrong with this story.
We're getting to know you.
Good times, yeah.
Kristin. You don't need to wear a dress. You're fabulous. You could wear a pantsuit.
You just go.
A
You keep going. I
smart,
love smart
elegant
pantsuits.
Do it.
The audience agrees. Yeah. Every time I hear the word pantsuit, I think Jane Lynch pops into my head.
She's a
Right off the
pantsuiter.
bat.
Yes,
They're good
she's not afraid.
pantsuits.
Yes, she's got high end.
I think pantsuit should be acceptable to all dress-up occasions.
I think she should sell pantsuits on HSN.
She
do.
should.
Yeah.
Tall pantsuits.
Yeah. For
the-
specialty
yeah.
audiences
Yeah.
and people that don't get out in stores.
Pantsuits for the Tall and Funny by Jane Lynch. Right there.
That's awesome. Which, by the way, I will plug. Jane and I have a big tour coming up in November and December. We're doing like I think like 12 shows in 7 cities because we did a Christmas album last year called A Swingin' Little Christmas.
It's a fantastic
And
album,
by
by the
we,
way.
I mean me. No, it says Jane. It's a Jane Lynch Christmas album featuring Kate Flannery.
There was some songs that were on the charts last Christmas time.
Yeah,
as I
yeah. We
recall.
actually did very well. We were
Yeah.
number 8. The whole album was number 8 in the Billboard Top 100. And if there's any Grammy voters listening, we are in submission for Grammy. So who knows? Who
It's a
knows?
hell of a show. Incredible live show.
The album's
Yeah.
great. The album's really fun. It's actually not a live. The album's not live though. It's fun.
This is the
but
kind
yeah.
of guest we need to solidify our show. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What the hell? Yeah, I think we're going out like the 28th, shortly after our Flappers Christmas show, which is going to be the Sunday after Thanksgiving. Just when you're sick of your family and you can't take it anymore, come the Sunday after Thanksgiving and get away from them. Lie to them. Tell them you could shop across the street and then come see our show at 7 o'clock here at Flappers. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
you
good.
also have one coming up November, 26th and November 7th.
November 7th.
Yeah.
Yes, that'll be a
Coming real soon.
non-Christmas show. For those of you who hate Christmas
Just
and hate
hate it.
yourselves.
Yeah, non-denominational
Non-
lampshade show.
non-denominational.
How does your Christmas show differ from your, well, I know how your straight Christmas show goes, but what do you do in the Christmas show?
There's a few.
Whole different bunch of props.
Right. Some extra costumes.
I'll
We
let
do
my
a
imagination
very-
run wild.
We do a very sexy version of Little Drummer Boy. That's all I'm
Yeah,
going to say.
that's one
And
of them.
you have to see it to believe it. Cause
I'll be there.
yeah, that's what it is, baby.
And then
Exactly.
a song that's it pays homage to a formerly X-rated movie from the late '60s.
Yes, that's right. That's right. We do White Christmas with the theme to Midnight Cowboy. Wow. That's our mashup, Christmas mashup.
You don't want to miss that. That's November 26th here at Flappers.
7 o'clock.
And, if you're just joining us, this is Songs in the Key of Funny. I'm Kristin Key. With me is Shaun Fisher and our guests this week, Kate Flannery and Scot Robinson from the Lampshades. Yeah.
Oh.
So, I noticed earlier, before we get to your... You reached something into the instrument box and grabbed an instrument on one of our songs today.
Yeah.
We're going to... Everybody reach into that instrument box and grab your favorite instrument, because we do a segment on the show called Musical Mashup. All right. Does everybody have their instrument?
Works for me.
All right, Shaun.
All
We'll
right.
start with you.
Okay. I'm gonna play this with one hand.
Why'd you grab that instrument, Shaun? Why'd you grab that instrument? Can you play that instrument? Can you play it now?
Well, I do think so. It doesn't make me feel real glum. I just hit it with my fingers and I smack it with my thumb. And I know that I might be up here and I am looking dumb, but I love to play these bongos and I make mouth sounds like drums.
Nice work, Shaun.
Thanks.
Why'd you choose your instrument, Scot? Why'd you choose that instrument? Can you play that instrument? Can you play it now?
Well, I sure can play this. It's just a little rubbin'. Not quite sure what this instrument's called, but I'm gonna call it something.
Nice work. Why'd you choose that instrument, Kate? Why'd you choose that instrument? Can you play that instrument, Kate? Can you play it now?
Hey!
Good job, everybody.
Hey, that was fun! That was a xylophone, everybody. If you're not watching the live stream, that was a xylophone.
Musical mashup went really well this week.
Who knows how to play a xylophone? Just picking it up.
Kate.
Showbiz.
Kate Flannery with the smart top.
Hey, if you've had as many commercial auditions and not booked many commercials, you'd be surprised.
How often xylophone
Yeah,
comes
so
up?
you have to have some tricks up your sleeve.
I have a xylophone and a smart top, too.
Actually, I do play the piano too, so I'm.
It's never lost you a booking
wow.
your xylophone work.
Well, thanks. Maybe I should book. Yeah, some
Play the tiny piano?
tiny
There's
piano.
a tiny piano
Ooh,
right
it is-
there,
ooh,
yeah.
There's a tiny piano. Isn't that cheating though? If you already know how to play the piano, you know what I mean?
No.
Xylophone's a little more of a
Yes.
challenge.
It's totally cheating.
Cheating. Yeah. Cheating's allowed.
Do it.
Now, how long have you played the guitar, Kristin?
Since I was about 19. I
Wow.
started on the banjo.
Wow, you started. Wait, that's insane.
Yeah.
No one
play
starts.
the
I do
banjo?
play the banjo.
No, it starts
Yeah.
with
Do you
banjo.
play?
That's-
Who plays the guitar?
I know like
Here,
3 chords on the guitar.
You play this, and I'll play the banjo.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I seriously know like 3 chords. That's
If
all
they
I
match
know.
up with the same 3 I know on the banjo, then we'll have a jug band.
My dad has always wanted to play the banjo. He loves Dixieland, but he owned a bar, so it never happened, and he had 7 kids, so he's too exhausted. But
What 3 chords do you know?
Oh, like G, C, A.
That's the ones. Those are the one.
yeah,
Okay. Play me something like a good country chord progression if you can.
damn good, Scot Robinson. Yes. You've been holding out on me. You should be playing guitar in Lampshades. This is ridiculous.
I don't know how to stop playing.
I know, it just
Oh,
keeps
no.
going. Country song won't ever never stop, it just keeps on going and going. Guess we'll stop playing once I learn how to read. Country song, that was really disrespectful. Country song.
What country?
This makes me want to go on a road trip with you guys.
I know, it never gets old, yeah.
It's like
And
desert
we'll buy some Doritos and keep going.
And a bag of weed.
That song was called
Nice.
Doritos and a Bag of Weed.
Yeah. Good job, Scott Robinson.
Hey, good job, Scott Robinson.
Nobody
on the
ever lets me
gift
play their
bag.
guitar, so
Oh, I
thank you.
should
Thank
take
you very much.
Awesome. You need to play all the time.
I'm a big banjo fan. Do you like Sufjan Stevens?
Yes.
Stuff? It's like simple banjo
That
stuff,
was me
man.
singing.
It's
Ooh,
just
yeah, banjo
gorgeous.
is, oh my God,
So
beautiful.
Yeah, I had insomnia in college, and I didn't smoke weed, and so I not yet, and so I picked up a banjo.
Banjo was your weed?
And then your roommate had insomnia.
I lived alone. My neighbors, though, I think were on drugs, and I think they were up all night on drugs. Just probably like paranoid that some banjo player.
You guys hear banjo?
I hear banjo, and I think she's a cop. Because they always give me weird looks. But yeah, so I started playing.
Banjo, the instrument of law enforcement.
Well, it is a little deliverance, is all I'm saying.
Right.
There's some bad connotations with the, piggy.
Y'all got any sugar?
That's right.
But after the banjo, guitar came pretty easy.
Ooh.
What's that, Roxy the Fox?
Somebody is asking for Shaun's beatbox lesson.
Whoa.
Oh. Mom?
So we have.
You should be at work.
We have a few. Segments or games on the show, and one of them is where Shaun Fisher's been teaching our guests how to rap and do more hip hoppy things.
Giving it away. It's great.
Most qualified person in the room, at the very least.
Right, we can't have a segment without a bumper. Learning stuff about hip hop, teach us something, Shaun. Learning stuff about hip hop, teach us something, Shaun.
So, hi guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. Very clappy crowd today. So yeah, I was thinking that because beatboxing does have sort of like its origin story, it can be traced back to like jazz and scatting. I thought that I would sort of like make it more scat based because that feels more lounge centric than beatboxing and hip hop does. So essentially, turning your voice into an instrument, a lot of that comes down to the pressure is you want to sound like instrument all the time, or it's like it's not going to be good if you aren't like, is that a drum or a person? But so much more is the more important part is definitely the rhythm, right? And maintaining sort of like a melody and thinking of it in those terms. So with that being said, a lot of like things that I'll do to kind of like do a lot of sounds at once are sort of compacted consonants. And I have a couple little quick phrases that I use all the time if I'm looking to just add a flair to a beat or add a little like vocal melody. And a couple of those that I want to introduce today. The first one is biggity. Right? So
Biggity.
You can say biggity, and if you focus on just the consonant sounds, it becomes more instrumental, right? So if I'm just going like biggity, 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 turning it into biggity, 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 biggity. So if I'm doing a beat, and I'm going... So it makes it sound like I'm doing way more interesting things than I'm doing.
Boots and cats and boots,
Biggity,
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 biggity, biggity, boots and cats
Yes.
and biggity, 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 boots and cats and slow it even down for the boots and cats, biggity, biggity, biggity.
But yeah, the other one is Topeka. Topeka is another one. So Topeka, Topeka,
Been there?
Topeka, Topeka, Topeka,
Cats to pick a biggity, boots and cats to pick a biggity.
Yeah, I don't know why when you do it, it sounds so different. Topeka, 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 Topeka.
You make me feel as good as Michelle Trachtenberg did.
You can do it. Good for you. Good for you. Yeah.
So how do we use how would we
So,
I gotta practice.
I do.
so
Yeah.
what I'll do is I'll just lay down like a simple sort of like bluesy kind of beat underneath it.
Simple for you.
Just like a nice simplified bluesy beat, and then you guys just scat over it more than anything else.
we have a suggestion from Roxy the Fox. Go for it, Roxy.
Goats. They want the song about Billy Goat.
So we need to
Goats.
make a rap
Like-
with scats.
I would say like a bluesy kind
A
of
bluesy-ish
loungy
song
kinda.
rap about
Yeah, about goats. And then when you have no goat lyrics, you just switch on over to the scatting and the biggity to
biggity Topekas.
Cool.
All right, we're gonna try. Today we're supposed to rap about goats. Topeka biggity about goats. When they ask me, do you know anything about goats? I said, totes. I know goats are called Billy, and goats can be silly. And when goats get pregnant, they have kids. Topeka, biggity. Goats are delicious if you eat them. Zippity bow, Topeka, biggity, zippity dow, dippity dow. But I think it's still illegal if you beat them.
Sounds dirty. A girl named Billy. She got a nice coat. I know a girl named Billy. She got a nice coat. About Billy. She don't know those horns coming out of her hair. Coming out of her hair. Billy got a long way to go. She'll be sure to put on a show.
Biggity. Biggity.
Topeka.
Topeka. Biggity. Go.
Billy.
Topeka.
You know, they'll eat anything. Eat anything.
Are male goats rams?
I think they're called bulls. How do you milk a goat?
Very carefully.
Can you marry a goat?
You know, with this administration, everything's up for grabs. I think.
Is that another suggestion?
Or was that the?
This is a very
was that
popular
a goat
dinner bell.
I hit that bell.
Thank you. I learned a lot about goats just now. You milk one very carefully.
I was expecting ghosts, but we got goats.
Yeah, I know. With the Halloween theme, you'd think it would maybe it's a dead goat.
Someone's like
Maybe
autocorrect. It's like,
I was
damn
gonna
it.
say, I know, that's what I.
I wanted a ghost song.
That's right.
I hate ghosts.
Roxy, what was the second bell for?
Just knocked it over.
Bells.
The
The goat kicked it.
And then ate it.
Oh, because they'll eat anything.
They'll eat anything. That's what I've heard. I only know that from sitcoms from the 70s.
Just go see tin cans.
It's true, yeah. Or like Granny Clampett's bag of money, something stupid like that, from Beverly Hillbillies.
She was always leaving her money around. Oh, Granny.
Clearly marked $sign bags. Goats know what they want.
Legitimate, that's right. Mr. Drysdale only took the money bags marked.
You gotta take those clams, they're bags of money this week.
Security is the number one reason you want to bank with us. We're very discreet. We only put $1 sign on the outside of the bag.
right.
You don't know.
No one knows.
What's your guilty pleasure TV show now? Is it still the Beverly Hillbillies? And Hee Haw?
Actually, I Love Lucy is my guilty pleasure.
Aw.
Yeah,
Got a thing for
just 'cause
redheads?
I can't watch morning news anymore. I can't watch it. So I will watch I Love Lucy instead. That keeps me from turning the channel. That's what it is.
Scott?
Yeah,
My guilty pleasure would have to be Ancient Aliens.
Wow.
I'm adding to the fake news narrative by desensitizing myself to it.
Planet Nibiru and the Anunnaki and all
That's
that.
right. Thank you, Giorgio.
You're welcome.
You start
You
speaking
see?
each other's
This
language?
is such a geek moment. I'm not sure.
I was
where
like,
we're
back
going.
to that's a smart top again. Yeah, where'd you get that
Yes,
smart
yes.
top?
Giorgio Tsoukalos.
See,
is a
I
good
Love
one.
Lucy is about a redhead in love with a Cuban guy, and yeah.
Ancient Aliens is about this lovable guy, Giorgio Tsoukalos, and his wacky adventures.
Everything that's ever happened in human civilization is about aliens.
Well, that's probably
So much
Have we said nerd alert yet on this show?
Yes, we did Dorchestra at the top.
Orchestra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an excellent orchestration, Scott Robinson.
Thank
That's
you.
fantastic.
I have a degree in
Oh,
orchestration.
clearly.
I'm impressed.
Yes.
But yeah,
Why? So you're just fascinated by aliens?
It's
and the like?
it's on during the afternoons during the week,
Okay.
and I don't
so
get
it's either
I
that
don't-
or Maury.
I don't get the old
Judge
TV
Judy.
show station like you do. I don't know what TV station.
It's just on a Hallmark channel, I think.
Well, the Hallmark,
yes,
but there was another station you always refer to, and I'm like, I don't
Oh,
get it.
Hallmark
It's all old stuff.
Yes.
It's like I Love
Hallmark
Lucy,
channel.
the
Who
Lucy
lets
Show.
minds go to die. She could use
That's where you
that.
got those mystery shows. What my mom
I
calls the
watch
Who
ancient-
Done It.
Actually, I'm in
Ghost and Mrs.
one
Vera.
Hallmark Christmas movie with Melissa
Yeah,
Gilbert.
it's coming
Shut
up.
your
It's coming
mouth.
up again.
It's
It's a
coming up.
classic now.
It's just on at
By
4
now it's a
o'clock in the
classic.
morning, so
It'll
set
be
your
on-
alarms, everybody.
It'll be on every day.
What is it called?
It's called The
mid-November.
Christmas Pageant, and I play Beverly Simmons.
What is it with
who
you and
may or-
pageants? Vagina,
I know,
Christmas.
right? See, right, and my character may or may not have cancer. I don't want to, but anyway, it's a happy ending though, so
It's a
you figure it
tearjerker.
out.
she does.
what?
She was insufferable the entire time.
Yes, let her know, everybody.
That bitch
Let
has
her know.
cancer.
Gone.
Christmas is saved.
My wish came true.
Next Christmas will be so much better without her.
Oh my God. That's so crazy.
All right.
The
well,
pageantry is her just being like, I have cancer. Okay. I don't want to wear that sweater. I have cancer this year.
Christmas is about me.
Aw.
What are you gonna take us out on, guys? What's
This is a song we only know half.
okay?
Okay.
Hey, it's we're not a high tech show here.
Okay.
You don't have to know the whole thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, but we only know half. All right.
Okay.
We just ended earlier.
That's fun.
Inside,
You
here,
and
the
I
feel
let
your
heart
next
to
mine.
softly
You
you
whisper love
so
sin.
sincere
How
could
our
love
be
so
blind.
sail
On
together, drift
Did
off,
apart.
and
Here
you
are
by
mine.
side.
So now
come
to
you
with
oh arms not
then
to
I believe
what
I
say here
I
am
will
oh
him
arms of
then
you
see
voila
mean
to
me
open arms. Thank you so much. We're the Lampshades. Thank you so much. We only know half.
That's the Lampshades right there. Come see them at Flappers November 26th. You can see them November the 7th. The November 26th will be their Christmas show. November 7th will be the Lampshades being the Lampshades.
Yes, our non-Christmas.
Non-Christmas
Promote it as the non
show.
The non-Christmas.
Anti-Christmas.
Yes,
The
yes,
anti-Christmas
yes,
show
yes, yes.
when that bitch gets cancer.
The Happy Holidays show.
And if you want to find us each week, Facebook, we're at Songs in the Key of Funny. Twitter, at Songs Key of Funny. Instagram, just go to our website, Songs in the Key of Funny. And each week, come back and watch us live at 2 p.m. on the Flappers YouTube channel, and you can watch us do this whole thing live streaming. Or you please subscribe to our iTunes podcast, and that we can hear us each week. And thank you for listening. Once again, I'm Kristin Key, and you've been listening to
Songs in the Key of Funny.
Funny songs and the stories behind them with Shaun Fisher.
Oh, thanks.
Just remember that I forgot you at the end.
That's all right. You didn't forget me at the end. You remembered me at the end.
did.
You forgot me.